Okay, gang, the fall semester 2015 is upon us. Welcome to ddg3250 Identity Design. We have Nelson and John and Trina in the Identity Design class. I'm hoping that I can meet with you each week so we can go over our weekly topics and projects and talk about the nuances of identity design and brand manual development and brand packaging and campaign development and all the things that make managing a brand, which I call brand stewardship, really important with a company or organization. I also think this week I'll go ahead and record some videos each week to kind of give you a little added extra direction towards the course. It looks like John and Trina will be able to meet me in Naples. I'm hoping that that may be on a Tuesday or Thursday morning. It looks like John is available for Tuesday, and Nelson will be meeting in Fort Myers. Hopefully Monday will be an okay time for him because I'll be on the Fort Myers campus at that time, and we'll get the class kicked off. So you guys know how I like to work. I always send out a weekly announcement with the weekly activities and assignments, those expectations for the week, and then I like to follow up with an in-face meeting so we can just clarify anything you might have questions about and talk about a few of the details of the projects and the topics, and get the projects off on its right foot. So I went ahead and sent you guys your first weekly announcement. Remember, we start on Wednesday, today, the 9th, for the semester. So we actually go Wednesday to Tuesday. So all the way till next Tuesday is still considered week one. So for those of you that can meet on a Tuesday, the Naples gang, we'll do that Tuesday of next week. And then I believe that's the 15th. And then Fort Myers gang, Nelson, if Monday works for you, then we'll go ahead and do Monday the 14th. But let's go ahead and navigate through the course real quick so we can get an overview of the content, what we're going to be covering in the course, and what our first projects will be. Hopefully you have the book already. Great book, love the book, full of case studies and interesting topics and designs, and just kind of exposing you to really a global footprint of design. A lot of the examples across the globe, and introduce you to color and typography and just design sense as it relates to countries and cultures and kind of societal trends, I guess is the best way to put it. So I went ahead and clicked just so that you guys know the syllabus has been posted up there. Go ahead and just read it, review it, take a look at the course outcomes and objectives, see what we're going to be covering in the course so that we can hit the ground running. So let's go ahead into the coursework folder, and you'll notice that I've bundled up and put together the weekly content, and some of them are hidden. I haven't exposed those quite yet to you guys, but we have a week 1 and 2 folder. And that's where we're going to see kind of the introduction of the content here. And we're going to tackle chapter 1 in your book, and it's all about brand basics. We'll also complete a smaller learning activity and a much larger project number 1, which I consider our portfolio project. And we'll take the quiz on chapter 1 in week 2. So we'll tackle the learning activity, the smaller project, this week, along with reading your chapter 1 in your book, Designing Brand Identity. And then next week we'll go ahead and complete the bigger, larger homework project, and we'll also take the quiz. So we'll go ahead and break that up for you and do 2 and then 2. All right, so just in case you hadn't gotten your book yet, this is what the book looks like. Designing Brand Identities, like I said, a great textbook. Wheeler did a great job putting together just a global perspective on the book and on some basic brand skills. I've also attached a PowerPoint presentation, just highlighting a few of the key items in there. And you'll notice just below the book information is where I inserted quiz number 1. We will take that week 2. So don't worry about that until week 2. Just start reading your chapter 1 and get your chapter 1 read. I always also like to include a bunch of just resources, different things that we'll kind of touch on each week, like beautiful identity packaging, and you can see what it looks like as a nice portfolio presentation when you get done. It's always nice to embed a video or two. The Art of Logo Design is from PBS series Off Book, and it's a really good video. So please go ahead and watch that before we get together. Designing a brand identity, which is going to be our first project, creating a logo type, a combination mark, really, a symbol combined with some text to represent the culture of a company. We're going to do a nonprofit, so it's a nonprofit of your choice. It can be a local one, or it could be a national or global one. You could do Big Brother, Big Sister. You could do Susan G. Komen if you wanted. You could do the United Way. You could pick a local organization if you felt a connection to that, or you have some interaction with that. But we're going to do a complete brand redesign, and it's going to go all the way through a brand manual. So please make sure you pick something that you can do some research on, you know a little bit about, and something that we can build upon. And you'll notice that I put the definitions for brand, identity, and logo there for you. So, a brand or branding refers to the perceived image and subsequent emotional response to a company, its products and services. Think about the Starbucks mermaid. An identity describes the visual devices used to represent the company, like an identity system. And we're actually going to do a brand manual, and that includes the entire identity system, which means, all the visual components that are paired together and packaged, and the guidelines for how to use them and how to apply them. And then the simple concept of the logo itself. It's the central identifiable visual element that helps customers discover, share, and remember a company's brand. Remember, it's like an icon, like the Nike swoosh, which is a symbol mark, actually, and that is the logo. So the brand is that overall feeling that you get drinking that Starbucks. The identity is that system, that guideline, that package that tells you how to use it, how to apply it, and the logo is the symbol itself, or the logo itself. Really important, phase one of any process, and specifically for brand development, because the brand is the anchor point of a product or service, is research. Right? You got to research, who the company is, who their competition is, what the audience perceives the brand to be, what's the quality of it, what's the quantitative approach to it. Lots of questions here about it, market analysis, consumer research, very important. 80% of what you do is just researching, just figuring out how to hit the best home run you can, hit the point the way you can, and it's complicated. It's tough sometimes to figure out exactly what a company is all about. And a brief, the who, what, where, when, why, and how of the logo process, right? Just trying to put that down on paper and figuring out, what it means, what they mean, what they're trying to do. And that way you can capture the audience the best way you can. The more targeted you can be to the proposed audience, the more effective your logo or your brand development will be. And then you get into logo identity and guidelines. That's when you start putting this stuff together. What does the logo look like? How should we use it? What is the do's and don'ts of the mark? What does it look like in color? What does it look like in black and white? What does it look like in two color? What does it look like in grayscale? All those things are important. So you can see kind of the development of the Firefox logo here with shaping and curving. The mark, the Fox, the ITV logo, very much fluid and shaping, and you can see all the different ways of treating it. See the Firefox, how expressive they were versus the type treatment of the ITV logo. Beautiful penmanship, just beautiful sketchbook work. I love to start on paper. You really got to problem solve it on paper before you can ever go to the computer. So our original thumbnail sketches for our nonprofit logo design will definitely be on paper. I'll expect that from you. And then you can see how it's treated, how it is as a single color, how it is as multicolor, and the identity system will take shape. And I did a little collection here of an brand study or an identity system where you can see the logo and how it's applied to all of these different solutions. What a beautiful, beautiful solution there. And then we have style guides, and we're going to actually get into some detailed style guides, and you'll see Best Buy. This is what the website looks like. This is what the colors we use are. These are the types we approve. So brand manuals are a really interesting, important component to design. It allows any designer to pick up where a previous designer left off and continue a cohesive, compact, concise application of the brand. And you can see Walmart's color treatments and their alternative color backgrounds and all this stuff we're going to build in our brand manual. And so this gives you a really good idea of the depth of what a brand manual looks like, right? And then it's all about monitoring and rebranding. And we see rebrands throughout time. Google just did one, and I'm not sure what you feel about the new type treatment in the Google search, but it's definitely interesting. And here is our first learning activity, which will be the logo design. And this is one of the brand manuals developed by one of our students that I thought I would share in PDF format. And you can see a couple of them, the full color, the two color, the grayscale, and the black and white version of her logo. At the time, we chose to do organic or small companies, and she chose a little coffee shop logo. So, and you will see from the announcement, these are the expectations of the logo. So we will develop on paper first. Upon approval of the logo concept on paper, it must be a combination mark, which means it must include text and a symbol. We will develop these 4 logo treatments to begin the development of your brand manual. So it has to work in black and white as well as color. We have to have a 2-color solution, and we have to have a grayscale solution. Your logos must be completed in Adobe Illustrator. They must be scalable. Everything must be traced and outlined. And then I went ahead and attached some different solutions. And this coffee one's pretty cool, so I just grabbed some different coffee ones because I thought they were kind of interesting. And then I always like to include some videos. So here's a brand identity design process video, which is kind of a fun YouTube video for you guys to watch. And then in week 2, we'll get into the bigger project, which is developing the identity package for your logo. So we'll go ahead and develop all the pieces for that, the business card, the business envelope, and the letterhead. And that'll begin our brand manual. Everything starts with the identity and the identity package. And then I provided some samples for you. So hopefully we'll get together week 1 here on Monday or Tuesday, the 14th or 15th of next week on Fort Myers or Naples, and we'll go over this a little bit more in depth, and we'll talk a little bit about identity design and what makes an effective logo, and we'll start our identity design class kind of hitting the ground running. If you've watched this video already, please go ahead and start reading chapter 1, because remember, week 2 we'll take a quiz on chapter 1. And we'll kind of go through your book 1 chapter at a time. Like I said, it's a great book. It's full of case studies and really interesting material. And I think you'll notice that in each of our week's folder, they're chock full of content, videos, case studies, projects, samples. So I think you'll have a lot to kind of feed your brain and inspire you as you go through the course. So have a great semester, and let's get together and